Right, so just wanted to share a brief video with you if you're struggling with your social media content at the moment. And usually the struggle is because of one of three things. The first thing is that maybe you haven't got enough followers, so it feels like there's no leverage to your social media. So you're putting posts out there, and the only one who's really sharing it or liking it is your mum or your best friend. So it feels like it's a bit of a waste of time because no one's actually seeing your content. The second problem that people find is that they just run out of what to write about. They run out of ideas. So because they can't think of what to do, they don't put anything down at all. So that can be a frustration. And the third frustration is you might have a lot of followers, you might be putting out a lot of content, but you're not getting any results from it. It doesn't seem to be actually leading to any work, which is really the aim of the game. So often one of those three things can cause people to give up on their social media or do it half-hearted, and then they don't get any results at all. So maybe one of those three is your frustration at the moment. So what I wanted to do in this video was just share you 6 ideas on the way that you can improve your social media content that's going out there. So let me just share my iPad and I'll show you how we do that. So here's 6 brief ideas. Now, what I did, we actually did a full workshop on this with my mastermind clients. It was over an hour, the workshop, and we really went into this bespoke for each company. So we're not going to be able to do that on this video here, but it's just a quick run through to show you 6 ideas that you might be able to implement. So the first thing you want to think about here in number one is committing to frequency. So just think about that for a moment. How often are you posting and how frequently are you posting on social media? Because you really want to get into a bit of a rhythm of doing this. The last thing you want to be doing is posting loads of content all at once. So, all of a sudden you get a few jobs finished and you have a load of photos up your sleeve. So you post them all out on one day and then your audience doesn't hear from you for, the next 30 days. That's the last thing you want to be doing because, the day that you go and post, it might be the time that your ideal audience isn't actually scrolling through social media that day. So we want to commit to frequency and maybe just write down here, if you've downloaded this worksheet below, just write down here how often you're going to commit to posting each week. So maybe you might think, oh, I'll post 2 times a week or, maybe 4 times a week, whatever it is, think of something that's suitable for you that you can stick to and commit to, and then commit to that frequency going forward. You'll get much better results if you can do that. The second thing you want to be thinking about is committing to your brand. Now, as we're scrolling through social media, we flick through social media so fast, don't we? Oftentimes, companies can become invisible. But if you stick to your brand, it's going to be easy for people to recognize you. So when we talk about sticking to brand, we're thinking about what colors are you using generally in your social media content? What type of pictures are you using? Is your logo visible on your social media content? So if it is, commit to that. Every post that you put out there, commit to your brand. If you look on my social media channel, it's really easy to recognize my brand on there on every single post. So don't be posting one day with a pink background and the next day with a yellow background, because you're going to confuse your audience. They won't actually know if it's from you or not. So that's number two. The third thing you want to think about is committing to some value. So we don't want to see just rubbish posts going out there just for the sake of it. But if you can commit to a bit of value for your audience, what is it they want to be reading about? So for example, if you were a home extension specialist, could you give them some value? Maybe say, here's top 10 tips for your next kitchen design. Something like that. So commit to something of value that your audience want to be reading about. It's much more likely to get shared then and liked if they find it useful. The third thing you want to be doing is committing to offers. So oftentimes people can put a tremendous amount of value on social media, but they don't get any results back because they never make offers to anyone. So make an offer. If you've posted a nice case study of, let's go use the home extension example, you've put a nice case study out there, then make sure at the end of it you say, if you'd like a home extension carried out, then contact us on this number. Or if you'd like a free consultation, then here's our email address, something like that. So make sure you've always got an offer in there so people know what the next action is they need to take. Don't just assume. People need to know what they need to be doing next. So make an offer to them. The third thing you want to be doing is committing to your personality. So social media can be so boring and bland sometimes, and the ones that really make us stop and attract us are personalities that we're drawn to. Sometimes they might be a little bit out there. You might be like that, maybe not. But whatever the case is, people buy from people. So your ideal customers want to come to know you, like you, and trust you. So get your personality out there if you can. If you can do videos, even better, because people really get to know you as a person then. And the last thing you want to be doing is committing to follow up. So sometimes you might be putting a post out there and you might get your ideal client like your post or comment on your post. So again, let's imagine you're doing a home extension, you put a post out there, and let's say an architect comments on your post and goes, yeah, great job. Then commit to following that up. He's just, quite a warm lead there that's just commented on your post. So follow that up, send him a direct message or her a direct message and say, really appreciate you liking or commenting on my post. Have you got any home extensions at the moment you'd like us to price or tender for? So make sure you follow up, because that's a way of getting some leverage out of the post that you're putting out there. So there's just 6 brief ideas. And then the next thing you'll notice on your worksheet is that you've got a bit of a content calendar there with 14 other ideas on what you could potentially be using for your post throughout the whole month. Now, the reason a content calendar is done is there's nothing worse than just sitting there for the day thinking, oh, what shall I? It's the day I've got to post. It's a Wednesday. I've got to put something out there, and you can't think of what to write. So map out your content calendar in advance. It'll only take you 5 to 10 minutes to do this, and you'll have your content for an entire month all mapped out for you, so you don't have to think about it. And there's 14 ideas that you might want to pick from. You could do, let's just pick a few out. You could do a client case study or a testimonial. You could give typical questions that people ask. How long does a boiler installation take? How much is a typical rewire? That sort of thing. What questions are your audience asking? You could do your story. That often goes down well. You could do a walkthrough of your processes. So go through this list and think about what's going to work for you as a business and start writing that down. And you'll find it's just so much easier then to get your content out there because you've already got it mapped out. So that's just a couple of little tips. And this, as I said, this was something we worked through with my mastermind clients. One thing that I think is really important in building £1 million plus construction company is making sure you can do this section down here, which is attract. You've got to be able to attract your clients to you. And that's one of the ways you do that is by finding your USP, building your brand. And the one we looked at today is filling your funnel, the bottom. And using organic social media is one brilliant way of filling your sales funnel. So you've got lots of leads in there that you can price up. But obviously, as you can see from this, this diagram, there's 5 key areas that we need to look at in building £1 million plus construction company. We want to be able to plan, so we know exactly where we're going and we financially plan how we're going to get there. We need to attract the right clients to us. We then need to be able to convert those clients into actual sales orders. We then want to be able to deliver not only on site, but off site too. And then once we can do all of that, we want to be able to scale the business up. That's how you create £1 million plus construction company where you as the business owner have more time, freedom, and money. So if you'd like to talk about how we can do that with your business, then click on the little button below and book a call in with me. I'd love to show you how we do that. But for now, I hope you get some value out of that content calendar and social media sheet, and it works for you in your business. All the best.